Welcome in the Cafe Nightly Show. This is your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 14th of March, 2024. Happens to be Thursday. So Thursday means it's a late night. And yes, it is a light night, even though we had daylight savings time earlier in the week. It is late for me. 11 and change here on the East Coast. But getting things started, we did have a couple things that were officially in announcements. We knew they were happening. They were announced ahead. A couple things that we didn't know that were happening. I'm glad to see them. Chief among them is we've been waiting day after day, tick, tick, tick. If you did buy or have not yet bought your tickets for the in-person event for Genesis Week 2024, tickets for the actual event are still available, but we finally know what the deal is here at the Sahara deal. We'll get into that. That email did go out today. Limitations there, as well as a relatively decent deal up front. So we'll get into what that looks like. We did have, obviously, South Lake Tahoe get released for collections today. Go into those collections. Some surprises, not as many as you'd expect. Surprises in South Lake Tahoe for what collections were. Good to see you, Blue. I see you. Hi. And then, of course, from there, little baby, we already talked about it. We put the 5-minute warning out. We put the 10-minute warning out. We said get ready earlier, but we are headed into the very end of the frost season. So just a reminder, any of those last-minute tweaks for ornaments, we want to give that call out to try to work your way up that leaderboard if you haven't done so. And other than that, we're just looking forward to what we are rolling towards here into next week. So before we get into all that, obviously all views and opinions expressed by myself or mine and mine alone should be taken as game strategy or financial advice. They don't represent the game of the team of Upland. And of course, if I do have guests on the same thing, their comments, their opinions don't represent the game or team of Upland. They don't represent myself, the Goldsmith, the Cafe Nightly Show. They should be taken as game strategy or financial advice. So easy enough. And I'm just going to share this up front. This does come in the form of an email. It did come in the form of an email today from essentially Eventbrite giving a special offer to anybody who's actually booked the ticket. And it's essentially a link to a special pass booking opportunity. It's a way to have a special deal here at the Sahara just for those who are going to Genesis Week. Theoretically, this offer will continue to be open. Upland has said there's going to be limitations on how many of these rooms are overall available. There will be a period where this will end, and we'll likely get a reminder of when that will be for booking. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at what the offer is. And there's a couple takeaways on my part. I understand how these things work when you have these mass bookings where sometimes there are some limitations. So we'll get into some of those limitations here. Boop, there we go. Taking a look here at the Sahara Las Vegas is obviously going to be where we're going to have the event. We get the landing page right here, upland.me, Genesis Week. The 6th and the 7th are the days of the actual event. It's at the Sahara, and this is our opportunity to book a room. So if I go and look here, obviously, the earliest I can book for the event is going to be Wednesday, because that is realistically when I have to fly in to make being there Thursday work well for me. So I'm flying in the 5th, and that's the opportunity to take advantage of this deal and get a hotel for the 5th. And I'm flying out, in my case, on the 9th. I can't get there, but I obviously have already booked my tickets. I found a deal that worked for me. This is a good deal as it sits, but it only covers staying until Saturday, and then obviously booking to be out of your hotel room on Saturday. And theoretically, there are other options. Book another hotel, but booking that Saturday night into Sunday as a standalone, that's not going to be the cheapest night of the week, of course. So I'm going to look at here, 1 room, 2 people, and then search is going to give me the opportunity to go and take a look. So the hotel room on Wednesday is $50. Thursday's $50 here, and then $129 on Friday. Obviously, we know the weekends are more expensive dates, but quick notes here we want to put out there for anybody who's doing their budget still. Take a look here. Is resort fee and applicable taxes to each night of your stay are additional, and they will be collected at the time of check-in. Resort fee and applicable taxes will display on the room total charges, but will not be collected at the time of booking, aka you could book this, you could pay your $50, but keep in mind there will be additional resort fees that are there. And I don't like that they don't spell this out, but I will tell you that the resort fees come out to about $50 per day per person. So it is very much very much an expensive fee that's built in there, but it is worth keeping in mind. Again, you're getting a $50 hotel room, but then you're going to spend $50 a day on resort fees per individual that's going to be in that room. The room that they give you, one option and one option only, this Mara Style King. Not a bad room. It's just that it's limiting. You can have 2 people in your room, up to 2 people in that room. If I come over here to guest, I can't go and do 7. I can't go and do 9. I can do 1 or I can do 2 in that room because, again, it is a king room. It is set up that way. And, of course, there's other options. So you can book elsewhere. You can do things differently. You can go and book through another travel site or however you choose to book, or directly through Sahara. So you're not really limited to this option only, but you are if you want to take advantage of this deal. And it's nice that Upland has some deal here for you. Again, $50 for the night for the room for a Mara Style King, I can tell you, is a good deal for the Wednesday night, for the Thursday night. Weekend rooms are more expensive, but if I come over here, the average night is going to be $76.33, which isn't bad this year. Last year, the prices were a lot lower at the Sahara, so it is good that there's still a decent discount there available if that is part of your consideration to book or whether or not to book. So with that, we'll get that out of the way. And again, key notes here: $100 for tickets now. They are still available, Eventbrite. And it has been put out there that they kind of were cagey about the exact number of tickets. There has to be a max at some point, but Upland and when we talked to X1 last week, there was this strong indication that we're going to get as many people as we possibly can. So keep buying tickets. Don't expect that they're going to run out anytime soon, but at the same time, there has to be a theoretical max number. But booking early, oh, look at that possum. That little possum is out and taking a nap, cheese. The little Crocs on its feet. It's very cute. But we do know that there is going to be a period of time where there's going to be a time that is easier to book, and now is that time. We're further out. We have discounts on flights that won't exist later on. So it is definitely worth the consideration as we get closer here to see that ticking clock in front of you. If we are getting closer. A few things, obviously, we did see early in the week, the exhibitor applications. Those are still open, obviously, as they have been for the last couple of days. Up here in announcements, we did get the South Lake Tahoe collections. This is a key one here. Excited to announce a full list of South Lake Tahoe collections. Here they are. Tahoe Keys own 3 properties in Tahoe Keys in South Lake Tahoe. That's not a surprise. A lot of people expected it. Tahoe Meadows own 3 properties in Tahoe Meadows. Lakeside Park, 3 properties in Lakeside Park. Again, no surprises, no major surprises here. Lakeview Heights own 3 properties in Lakeview Heights. El Tahoe on 3 properties in El Tahoe, and Tahoe Island on 3 properties in Tahoe Island. We can go take a look at those areas. Again, no major surprises here. Let's get back to Lake Tahoe. I happen to be in Fresno currently because I am still vacillating over whether or not I'm going to mint that property. Here we are, South Lake Tahoe. And we can go and take a look at these areas. Here we are looking at the El Tahoe area. There's some Tahoe Island action going on over here. And we can go and see Lakeside and Tahoe Meadows. And then we're going to go back to our collections, and we're going to see Streets, Venice Drive, Beach Road, and, not the Boulevard. But we do have Venice Drive and Beach Road both getting collection status. Again, own 3 properties on either for the collection. We can go here, and we can always go and see our collections in a much easier way to see them. Pop up our collections under the Magic Hot Dog. We're going to go back to, and this is getting a little cumbersome here. We have to have a search feature because you got to scroll all the way down to get to the collections. There's a South Lake Tahoe collection. Hint, hint. Secret. I'm holding on to the South Lake Tahoe collection because I know I want to have at least one collection I can sneak in for next season. We are going to be headed into Blossom season very soon here. If that's one of the requirements, one of the tasks, I want to be, have one other collection that's just sitting there waiting to go. But I do get in here. Obviously, I see El Tahoe, Tahoe Keys, 1.86 times multiplier here for the limited El Tahoe, 1.57 times multiplier for Tahoe Island, Tahoe Keys, limited as well, 1.89 times multiplier. We do see in these limiteds, we do have a varying one-time bonuses, one-time rewards for our exclusives. We do have Lake Tahoe Heights and Venice Drive both being exclusives. Obviously, the exclusive here for Venice Drive, 9,100 UPX as the reward, as the one-time reward. 2.23 times multiplier on Lakeview Heights, 2.01 times multiplier with a 5,600 UPX one-time reward. Lakeside Drive and Tahoe Meadows both become rares, a 13,600 one-time bonus UPX for holding that collection. You do have to get the properties. You do have to put them in the collection. You do have to wait for the requisite 21 days. And 2.43 times multiplier. 2.38 times multiplier for Lakeside Park with a 12,300 UPX reward for one time for getting those properties, putting them in the collection, and holding them for the requisite period of time. Beach Road Ultra Rare Collection, 21,600 one-time UPX bonus. You do have to have 3 properties on Beach Road and 2.7 times multiplier. Again, a lot of the collections were as expected, with the caveat that at least one collection that I had seen as a high speculation did not happen. Banana says ready for Blossom season, because I think he's got all these uncollected collections and ready to tap those in Blossom collection. So right on, more power to you. Again, sometimes a little bit of planning on these seasons are going to make it easier to get your tasks out of the way. So that was today, our Tahoe collections. If I go over to live updates, we keep getting little things dropped in, and here we go. Earlier today, individuals who purchased their admissions to Genesis Week should have received an email about discount lodging. I did. We already went over that. We already looked at that. Please be advised that rooms and rates are limited, so players should check their emails and hurry and book, aka we don't know the exact number. If the number of reserved rooms is booked out, they're not going to be there anymore. And of course, if knowing the discount helps you book early, like I said, while that discount is still applicable. For those who are looking to purchase a ticket for the event, those tickets are still here, right here, this link over in Eventbrite. And I might as well be sharing my screen if I want to be sharing my screen. We'll get that back up. I'm gonna get to the right share screen here and get that there. There we go. Now we can see it. That link right here, Genesis Week 2024. We can click right here, jump into the page, and on Eventbrite we see that the following details are still the same. They haven't changed. $100 here for our general admission. Obviously, early birds are all gone. The event is from the 6th. Again, the evening of the 6th, all day the 7th is included. We are including happy hour, or Uplands including happy hour. Exclusive NFTs are part of this. And then all day dining on the Friday and Friday the 7th, with a number of events throughout the day. It's actually a packed day on Friday, and an opportunity, like I said, with the discounts for getting in on Wednesday and getting out on Friday. It's important to potentially take a little time after the night Friday, maybe spend the night, maybe sleep in a little bit, get up before you try to leave and venture out. I'm staying till Sunday, so get that extra recovery day, but it will be a good time. Again, if you are looking at reasons to go, keep in mind that we just got the update for our booths, so we just barely got the application for our booths. We also have reality that we will be getting more information in a very short future. Information about speakers and panels and what that's going to look like. Information about the hackathon, that is going to be a thing. As X1 already said, that will be revamped. That will be a little different than it has been in the past, but that will be happening at this year's Genesis Week. We're also going to have an awards for a few different categories, superlatives. That it's always fun to see those happen. And of course, we have makers of the game. We have staff members who are going to be speaking on stage. They'll be available to hobnob with. You'll be able to spend time with other Uplanders. And of course, it is a time to again learn about the new year, the future year in Upland, but also to spend time with people who care about the game like you do, and potentially make some friends or visit some friends who you have already made along the way. Again, I just want to remind people, we don't have the exact number of the tickets that are going to be sold, but they are technically limited. So at some point they could sell out. That's just a heads up here. Flight is the biggest one that I always say book it early, because we do know that those prices can go up as we get too close to some of those dates, and they can book out as well. We did also have earlier in the day, and we'll share this here. Earlier in the day, we did have this information about getting us ready for the city with a couple announcements along the way, like we always do. We did have the announcement of the collections, where we have to say, hey, here's all the collection keys. This is how you can go and verify that these collections were actually collections from day one, so you can see all that. Then we did obviously have the properties locked way before the release. Any unminted properties that hit collection, they were repriced and then were put back up for collection. We see all that information happening here. And then the big announcement of the day, or a reminder of announcement anyways, is tomorrow is the end of frost season racing finale. Again, it is the end of frost season, the 15th. It is a frost season racing finale. As we had this racing event that was going throughout the season, keep in mind that even though there was different cars in that, it was the Series 1, the Series 1 E's and R's and the race cars from the Stock Car Pro that were really going to be doing that finale, that final race. And that's what's going to be going on tomorrow. Finalists are going to be racing their Series 1 race cars tomorrow. The finalists are as follows. Let's see what we can do with pronunciation. Akapropi, Shinraza, Metaspook. Look at this. I'm glad these are names I already know. Big Norm 611, Mengamizi, that is a new one to me. San Mahoney, Matsuder, Phallus. We got Exoc 777, Maddox. There, see, I love when we have the names we know. Makes it easier. JH2271 and Mass Chef, all on the list, all going to be competing for the top prizes here at the end of this race season. And a couple quick things on this. This is going to be a spectator sport. This is going to be an opportunity for people to watch who aren't on that list. The final races will be held and will be broadcast in the City Center Plaza at 52 Grove Street in San Francisco at 11 a.m. PT at tomorrow, the 15th of March, when things get kicked off. There are 2 qualifying races and then a final, so there'll be 3 total races. That racetrack is longer than any other racetrack we had in the game of Upland. It is 5.2 miles and change, aka it's going to take a lot longer for this race to actually get run, which is exciting. You can watch the races run through. We're going to see them take closer to 7-8 minutes as opposed to shorter 4.5 minute races. So a little bit of expectation there. But again, 3 races, a little bit of commentary in between. Mass Chef will be doing commentary, again, officially broadcast in the Upland Plaza. I believe it's also probably on Twitch as well, probably on YouTube as well. But more than anything, if you want to go and watch it in the City Center with other Uplanders, you have the chance to do so. 11 a.m. PT tomorrow with Mass Chef and a special guest host, X1, joining along with him tomorrow, which is kind of exciting to see that. The rules can be found here, located in this article. Obviously, we already went over that racing a couple times in the past. The finals will be hosted by the URL. Again, you can find their Discord here for more information about the finals right there. But more than anything, this was a race series that we had and we knew about for the last month-ish. Yeah. They did do the update to give you more details on the finals. Again, and that update included the names of the racers that are going to be in the finals. The season finals were for Series 1 only. That's easy enough. We knew that. The staked requirements, they updated that after they put it out. But again, this was earning points based on stakes racing. It is there are different categories for different cars. The different cars, they do still have a top 10. The top 10 still has rewards. Excuse me. They just will not be racing in a series final to determine who gets what. So we still see that. We still see that there is the race series here. And the key thing to know and to put forward here is Upland's already said the Series 1 R's, Series 1 E's, that race series with the Stock Car Pro Series Pro cars That is going to be a competitive series that is going to continue on. This is going to be one of the stops along the way. There's going to be points assigned from this race. There's going to be points assigned from the finale from Blossom season. And then we're going to go to the year end every year. And this year is going to end at Genesis Week with a start over in Sizzle season. After Genesis Week, we're going to start the race season in earnest. And I say in earnest because we're going to be starting right off the bat and be able to run an entire year. But these couple months along the way with the finales at Genesis Week, with theoretically being able to have the racing with some people potentially in the room, with the racing broadcast on screen, we'll likely see that at the in-person Genesis Week this year as well. And then otherwise, this whole series, the whole announcement based on it, was an opportunity for Upwind to put out that there will be enhancements and boosts coming out in the future for racing. These consumables, this concept of consumables to enhance your racing attributes. This is interesting. I've had my thoughts on it about the pay to win aspect of it, but ultimately Upwind is a pay to win game in many ways. Theoretically, the opportunity to purchase the pay to win is there for everybody, but it's as long as it's balanced so that it doesn't necessarily determine the winner, just enhances the racing experience with a little bit of an edge, maybe. I'm okay with it. Again, the majority of the race should be determined by the quality of the racing put out by the individual racers. As long as that's the case, I'm okay with enhancements along the way, Upland. So I will let you have your little piece there. And then otherwise, going on here as we end Frost season, got a couple other things to remind ourselves on Frost season. Getting back to our announcements here on Frost season, keep in mind that we have two things going at the moment with Frost season. Number one is we are determining our Blossom season earnings. So if you do not get enough of the tasks, enough of the tasks done along the way, you will not be getting that full 14.7. You do have to complete 5 tasks on that list, and you do need to get them done by tomorrow. So chop, chop, mushy, mushy, get going if you're not there yet. You can always go and review, and I'm going to go and do that now. You can always go and review where you are along that list, how many things you have finished. If you are still needing to finish one thing or the other, where are we? Did we go past it? We're almost there. Seasons revamped. There's our seasons revamped. It's the next one. It's the next one. Oh, I thought we were almost there. So we are going to be having, again, on the Frost Season Challenge, we do see here that is going to be ending. Of course, the dates on here, we can already see the placing currently. Keep in mind, there is a delay on how this comes up. We do see on the Uplander status, like I said this before, because so few Uplanders have finished the structure and then obviously gone and been able to invest in a map asset. A structural ornament, which in this case, these structural ornaments have been costing in the 30 to 40,000 UPEX range for this season's ornaments. It's a lot of investment for an Uplander who doesn't have 100,000 UPEX value yet in the game to have built the structure and to be having a structural ornament. It makes me a little like, what's going on there? However, the structural ornament does not count towards your net worth. It is possible that people are focusing on things like having these assets before they get too far invested in building their UPEX value of their properties or other holdings. So that's understandable. That can happen. That does happen. But so we see this is very limited, which means that it's easy to get on this list if you happen to be an Uplander to potentially go and get a prize. And there are some pretty decent prizes here. We go into the pro. Obviously, those pros are all built through. We're going to see things get more competitive here in director. And then, of course, executive is always the one, or has been the one, that's most competitive. Look at that. 50 structures with an ornament on them, Frost Season ornament, that are in a collection, because that's one of the requirements. Has to be in a collection, has to have a structure ornament on it, Frost Season. Obviously, you have to build the structure before you can do all that. So that is a lot. So more power to you. RDP Pfeiffer, Cassatra's up there. We got Prospect Gold up there as well. All these people right here on this page, pretty impressive work agency, pretty impressive work Lily, for the number of structures that you have up and decorate at this moment. I'm outside of the top 10. Look at that. And I don't think I'm going to be able to swing it to get back up here into this point. So I'm not going to be doing all that much work in the last hours here, but it's nice to see that, get there in the top 25, top 50 anyways. And then of course, this is a little bit of a sadness, little bit of a cry. Look at all these chief executives and look how few structural ornaments they have up. Look at these executives with smaller net worths who have a lot more investment of time and energy into going and getting all of these things collected and then decorating the properties that they already own, that they already have structures on. Come on, chief executives, put a little more work in, a little more energy. And again, we do see a number of people putting some effort there. There's, getting 10, 12 ornaments up. You have to buy the ornaments. You have to have the structures built. Still respectable, of course. But it would be interesting to see this list longer because there's more chief executives than the ones we see here. Be interesting to see this list more competitive as each of these individuals has a decent amount of spark. Each of these individuals has a number of properties that they could build structures on. So this definitely could be a more competitive list at some point in the future if those individuals put a little more time, a little more effort into making that happen. And then otherwise, trying to get back to finding the announcement that I'm looking for. That's going to give me that leaderboard so that we can see our Frost season gamified earnings. There it is. Took me a while to find it because my eyes were looking for something that wasn't there. We can look on our gamified earnings and see that there are a bunch of people who are up here at the top, and I'm going to pop this out so that I can see it in a better way. There's a bunch of people who are going to be fully booked out or fully set out with all of their gamified earnings all set all the way to getting this magical 15.2%. And I can go over here and scroll and see, oh my gosh, all the way to that bottom list. Hey, there's King Cody. Look at that. Congratulations. Jaded Priest is up on that list. The list of anybody who's up on this list did a little extra. There's a couple things on here that you actually have to try for. For me to hit the 9 that I hit, and I'll show you that. You can search your name right here. For me to hit the 9 that I hit, I guess I don't have that bracket at the end of my name. For me to hit the 9 that I hit, it was pretty natural, aka I didn't put a lot of extra effort into any area of the game I don't normally do. I can see that I did not get 3 competitive chests. That is something I don't do a lot of competitive treasure hunting. Did I complete 5 different models? No, I completed the structures that I was building naturally. Did I complete 3 structures? Did I build structures in 3 different stages? No, I was just building the structures I was building natural. I would have had to change my gameplay a little bit to hit these 2, which I didn't. This one here, I definitely could do. It would have taken me a little more time than it might have taken other people who were more specialized in it, but I could have done that. But ultimately, I wasn't going to change my building habit this month anyways. So I'm pretty happy to have this 14.7%. The 9 that points that I've earned along the way, more than the 5 that I need. But again, they were earned naturally. That was something I was doing anyways. My 3-time multipliers there at 14.7%. Again, with the gamified earnings, it is important to note, if you are finding yourself at the end of this season, which we are at the end of the season, ending on the 15th, and you haven't completed those tasks along the way, you are going to be seeing a recalculated earning amount. 4.9% is the standard earning now. It's the base level of earning. We have multipliers that are built onto our earning based on what we have done or how many of those tasks we've completed along the way. And of course, there's still time. So there's still a day if there's things as simple as going up to our task list and seeing that I could do something as simple as, oh, I can't log in for 25 days if I'm at the end. I can't log in for 7 consecutive days if I'm at the end. Those things I would have had to do earlier. But I can do things like racing. I can race 5 multiplayer races. I can win 2 of those races. I could go and buy 6 properties on the secondary. Again, it's going to have a cost associated, but you could do that. I can go to a city that still has mintable properties, someplace like South Lake Tahoe, and go mint 3 properties here. to click off the 3 properties minted during this season. Those are still opportunities. There's still opportunities to get 3 competitive chests. There's still opportunity between now and tomorrow to get 5 standard chests. Let's try stop 5 standard chests. It is pretty late for me here. I apologize. And 3 property collections minted or completed for the first time. That's a little trickier. It requires buying the right properties or properties that you haven't put in collections before, just to put them in the collections that they currently apply for. Those are all possibilities that you can sneak between today and tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Definitely a possibility there. Ultimately, we are going to be done with the frost season, ending up with frost season. We are also going to start, if I get back to where I was before, because I was already there. If we do end frost season, we are getting ready to start our next season. We'll be starting blossom season on April 1st. You have this cool down period. You have this small little break between the 15th of March and April 1st. That's an opportunity for Upwind to try to sneak something in on us. I hope they do. Some little announcement, something for people to do, another contest maybe. But just outside of that regular season, the regular season competition, we'll have 44 days in the blossom season. It runs from April 1st to May 15th. Again, there'll be 17 days between blossom season and Genesis season when things end up for blossom season. So keep that in mind. But our first gamified earnings will be kicking in on the 1st of April, with the caveat that it's obviously that annuitized rate or AP. It's the APY of the 14.7 or whatever new amount you've earned. So you'll see that maybe adjusting what you get from your dividends. And then you'll also have the opportunity, if you're not happy with the dividends in blossom season, to accomplish tasks throughout blossom season to increase those or modify those for Genesis week. And if you're happy with your rewards this season, you're still going to have to participate in blossom season to have them as agreeable to you in Genesis season when we have that kickoff. So with that, I do want to say it is late here for me tonight. We did have the couple announcements, of course, and looking forward to 2 things. Number one is I'm looking forward to further announcements on Genesis week. Fully expect those in the next couple of weeks. The booths being open right now, the booth applications, that is a focus for many people, April 7th, so keep that in mind. You got a couple weeks to do that, but get that in sooner rather than later. And then we are going to see that Upwind kind of teased here earlier today. If we go and look at Twitter, Upwind kind of teased that they're going to have something big coming, and they do this in a small way. They kind of do this as a little they kind of do this sometimes. That's not what I want to do. They kind of do this as a little Easter egg here sometimes, where they will drop in. Where is their announcement that they're going to do it? Let's look at their page. Where they'll kind of say, "Hey, something's coming," without actually saying, "Hey, something's coming," and there it is. I don't know why he's floating above Earth with red eyes. That feels awfully Superman to me. I don't know if that's what they're telling us. It looks like he's floating up in space, like he's flying above Earth. And again, Superman, superpowered, flying through space. It feels something of that nature. But again, Miles has something for you. ... That nice little ellipses tells me more is coming. So keep your eyes open. Looking forward to seeing a little more about that. Earlier on Upwind's Twitter, obviously looking forward to the finale of Series 1 Racing. That's going to be in the Plaza as well as YouTube and Twitch. But again, in the Plaza, good place to watch that for tomorrow. And why not put it up here? Uplando did do for the first time. It did do a special here this afternoon in the Plaza as well. Something working with a little bit of a different official broadcast in the Plaza. We have a number of broadcasters that have specific times in the Plaza. It's fun to see other people get involved. Plano's been a little bit away from doing his own specials for a while, but it's good that he did get a chance to get in there and do that. And doing that with Left House here earlier this afternoon. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing what's coming up next week. Looking forward to tomorrow. And of course, for tonight, thank you so much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. PT. Maybe I do have to travel a little bit this week. I don't know how road schedules are going to work, but definitely trying to make the Friday work here, 7 p.m. PT here in the Upwind Cafe over on YouTube if you're there. And of course, if you're watching record, we'll always get things up here within a few minutes of recording each day. Thank you so much for being a part. Thank you for being here. And of course, if you're in the Upland Discord, as always, feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.